Okay. Madam Chair, since we have established a quorum, I'm going to redo the roll call.
Thank you.
Okay, it is 5:09 PM. Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson is not in. Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat? Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett? You have 5 members present.
We have 5 members present. Reading of disorderly person city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 3110, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. I want to remind everyone that that according to our rules, you must silence your phones. And I'm doing that right now. Okay, are there any requests for agenda changes or additions? Any requests for agenda changes or additions? Any requests for agenda changes or additions? Hearing none, it's now time for public comment. Members of the public, I'll read it so that I got it. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box will be placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. Madam Clerk, who is our first speaker?
First speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
Hello, I'm R.L. Mitchell. I want to address the situation about Labor Day in Flint and all over America. On Monday, I caught myself going down to McDonald's on Miller Road to have an ice cream and hang out on Miller Road all day long to celebrate my labor in Flint since I ever had a job in Flint. That's the first place I signed up to get a job at McDonald's on Miller Road. But I had peach spuds growing on my mustache. They said, "You got to cut that off, sir." I said, "I ain't cutting nothing off." That's why, and I just reminisce, and they didn't know how to give me an ice cream cone. The dude said, "Well, I don't know nothing about no ice cream." I said, "The gospel station told to mention Denise." But anyway, I got the ice, I got the breakfast, and I went outside. And all the people, every time I finna go sit, was a big hotel behind the McDonald's. They had dogs out there walking with them, but when they saw me coming up on them, they tried to get the dogs in the car, and 2 dogs didn't want to get in the car. They wanted to see what I was doing. So I sat on the ground with my coffee, and the man had to come and pick the dog up and throw him in the car and rode off. Now, I really want me to hang out all night until the next day because people be saying, "Hey, sir, you waiting for the bus? I want you to know the buses ain't running today." I said, "Man, I don't care about no bus. You drunken neighborhood watch." I mean, I sat there till about 5 hours, but I had to use the bathroom. I'm finna go behind. That's what they want me to do. Because every time my birthday, they lock me up I'll be locked up in the jailhouse. The officer said, "Man, don't you know you locked up? It's your birthday." 3 years in a row it happened to me. And I was finna go behind the building, Tuffy's, and use the bathroom. And so it happened, my neighbors saw me. She said, "Run in the middle of the street, down a U-turn." I got in the car. She said, "What you doing?" She said, "I saw you when you first got out. They dropped you." I said, "Take me home." Because I went in the house, and this, America celebrate a holiday. I stayed in the house all day until the date. I think I'm all screwed up and waiting for the Chief Green to come over and talk for his city like the little mayor downstairs address. He let them bitch handle these cops talk for him, getting attitudes in here last week because he didn't want Chief Green to talk for himself. Chief Green put him up when he be like Richard Dix and stuff. They know how to run, hold their own ground and stuff. Chief Richard Dix and stuff, and all. The question is, where our money at? Get the money on the table tonight. We give her our money for, or else she gonna be dealt with like Miss Priestley. I mean, good evening, New York and everybody.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Stanley Wood.
Good evening, Council. First of all, Resolution 250223T. Mr. Pfeiffer, I'm not sure if that's the one you asked before about them adjusting the budget to cover that. If it is, I hope that doesn't pass tonight. I don't see any information here that it is. Maybe it's in the actual resolution. I don't know. The police. We have a failure in leadership. I would love to see a vote by the police union on how confident they are of Chief Green's abilities to run. Obviously, we all know the problems going on with the People's Church. Councilwoman Rimpey Carter, I appreciate you showing up there on Sunday. My plan was to be there, but instead, in talking with Pastor Thompson at St. Mark's, I sat in the parking lot there for 2.5 hours while they had their church services at another place. That's why I didn't make it. So let's go on to St. Mark's. You know, it's been the cornerstone of the second ward for how many years? How long have they helped the residents out? And you know who showed up? I didn't expect all the council people to show up, but I expected the one that was in that ward to show up. No, she didn't show up. Nowhere to be found, silence, absent, missing, whatever. Which I know she's missing again today. Maybe we need to file a missing person report. I'm not sure. But there were 2 council people there. The one from the 6th ward, Councilwoman Burns, and the one from the 3rd ward, Councilwoman Johnson. Councilwoman Burns went live on Facebook, and I would say within 15 minutes of her being done of asking for help, and I showed up, there was probably 75 people there at that point to help out. This is a lot about the community. I appreciate the 3rd ward council representative showing up. She did give some people some ugly stares, so maybe she needs to work on her public appearance, but hey, it is what it is. Councilwoman in the 9th ward, or councilman in the 9th ward, I'm sorry. I don't know if you know, there was a new restaurant that opened up in Dort Mall, and they did a ribbon cutting today. I would have loved to seen you there. Maybe they didn't reach out to you, I don't know. But it's, they're specializing in basically being for special needs people. I think it's a great idea. It's called 810 Munchies. If you guys get a chance to go there, check it out.
The next speaker is David Peachy.
Fourth Ward, David Peachy. I'm here to get a little information, give a little information. We've been asking how much money in this ARPA fund for a long time. Can't get any answers. Nobody knows. Well, somebody knows. Anyway, the last time we were here, Mr. Woodson asked you about it. No answers. Well, a week later, $450,000 come out of the ARPA fund. $400,000 for small business, $50,000. I couldn't figure that one out. Administration, I guess. But you tell me what small business is, because I know of one business right now that got $20,000, has been there for 60 years, and no reason for we subsidizing a place like that. And it's a nice place. In that same area, They had two houses, one house burned down across the street from it 6 months ago, and it's already covered up, taken care of. Right down the block, a house is empty, but they knocked that one down. They got us, Vernon, goes from Robert T. Longway to Davison Road, is being all refurbished, resurfaced. We can't get potholes fit on the other side of the street. We got houses that have been sitting there for 5, 10 years that are burned down. They're safety hazards. Don't look at me like that. You know every one of them is. Nothing being done. But if you live in the right place, you get it all done. And somebody's got to be accountable for this money. What is small business? What small business are getting this money? You're just handing it out to your buddies? That's all I got to say. I know nothing's going to change. I hope it does.
The next speaker. The next speaker is Mary Wright.
Mary Wright, Fifth Ward. I think what I need to know about all the wards can answer or, I don't know, point me in the right direction. We have, not just myself in my ward, but I have a couple of friends that have in their wards too. They're foreigners. I don't know if they squatters or what, but they got houses and they running auto sales off of their land, off of their lots, off the driveways, off the street. They got hauler trucks with 5 and 6 cars, 8 and 10 cars, and they loading up the whole block. I guess they selling cars, but it's something need to be done about it. I've talked to my council person already and they've done something, but they back and they keep coming. And I know it's against the law for them to even drive those vehicles on the public streets, but they're doing it and somebody need to do something about it. I don't know who, but somebody give me some information of who I need to talk to, because I'm gonna bug the hell out of them and call them every week, every time I see one. That's it.
The next speaker is Anthony Aliu.
Good afternoon. Appreciate all of you. I came to let everybody know that we're aware that you have paperwork and the land bank has paperwork that they have to do, and everybody's doing the best they can for what they're working with. And I admonish myself to say this. All of you do the best you can. And I pray for y'all every day. Every day. Because I know that you're not appreciated. And that hurts. You're not appreciated. You work so hard to get everything done. And I know it's hard when people don't acknowledge the work that you do, but keep doing it, okay? Please, we need all of you. And I'm supposed to have military bearing. I'm supposed to stand up straight, shoulders back. And I don't mind being vulnerable in front of you to let you know that we care. Those of us that know that you go through the agenda and you're doing things by the letter, and they don't understand that. You just can't wave a magic wand and get stuff done around here. It takes due diligence, and you guys do it every day. And it's appreciated. There are those of us that know that you're doing the best you can. You're making the best decisions that you can. So please, there are those of us that know you work hard, that you work with what you have. We're getting Amazon here, we're getting a battery plant, we're getting all this, and it's because of your hard work. You and the Chamber of Commerce are doing a wonderful job, and we know it, and we believe in you. Some will, some won't, so what? If the people are difficult to you, keep your head up, stand up straight, and know that you're doing the best job that you can. I implore you to keep on doing your best. That's all. Thank you.
The next speaker is M. Young.
Good evening, Michelle Young, 6th Ward. Again, I always say this, can we make sure everybody is speaking in their mic so we can hear your answers clearly? So today, this is your finance meeting, so I just want to remind you the reason for this meeting is your group is responsible for approving budgets. City council members are responsible for approving the city's budget, which outlines how the public funds will be allocated to various city services and programs. So the first question I have is for the finance chair. This question has been asked multiple times, and I'm asking again, can we get an updated ARPA money that's available to still be distributed? And the young man that just left said that you were doing your best. It's been asked, so I'm asking you, if you are not capable of giving us that, who is? Who is responsible for it? You are the chair of this. We need the ARPA amount that is available. Second thing, the ARPA applications that were put in prior to the deadline date, are the current recipients that have recently been receiving money, were they on that list? Did they fill out the proper paperwork? And did they meet the deadline? That is also directed to the finance chair and the vice president, if she's not able to answer the question. And I also ask that all the other council people, when they do bring resolutions up to give out more ARPA money, can you verify before you say yay or nay that it was brought in prior to the deadline and that all things were done possible? Because it just doesn't seem like that is happening. If that is your process, let's do the process. Second thing, potholes. Can we get some money for potholes? There is one on Saginaw Street. I'm not real sure where it is, but it's bigger than a pothole. It's kind of like by the old Church's Chicken, I think, somewhere around there. And it's huge. It's going to tear up somebody's car. We need some attention to that. Judy, when you have your finance meeting, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you Judy, Chairman Judy. When you have your finance meeting, is it a requirement the city department head is here to answer questions as well?
The next speaker is Sherry Smith McFadden.
Hello, Sherry Smith. I'm up here on behalf of my sister. Address 1127 Folsom Street. It's approximately 6 houses. The street is only 6 houses There is no other part of Folsom. It's right there by Golden Gate. I just want to know how, of everybody around that whole neighborhood over there, how could somebody just pick my sister out to ticket her $250 for some overgrown trees that was on her fence line? And the thing of it is, it's real funny because right next door is an abandoned house that's burnt up with a tree that's leaning on her property. But the state or the city ain't gonna do nothing about that tree that's actually leaning on her property. But yet they came out and fined her $250, not understanding. We talking about a lady, my sister's arm is like this, she disabled, fully disabled. And they didn't even give her a warning. I had to call Tanya to figure out how can we get this done. She go downtown, do everything that Miss Burns tell her to do, but guess what they tell her? She gotta go to court. Even though she cleaned it up, cut it, had people to come out there and do it. But how do you just pick her out of all them houses around there? You got 3 abandoned houses. There's 6 houses on the whole block. 3 of them people live in. My sister is the only homeowner over there. The only homeowner. And I'm not understanding that. I'm just not understanding, how do y'all go around picking to say, oh, this person got trees right here, or, and these ain't even big trees. We talking about trees that's like this big, that's growing through the fence. Now, the tree that's sitting next door at the abandoned house, that's a whole big ass oak tree. I'm not understanding. I don't understand how they go around and pick and choose. And then not to even give her a warning, to write her a ticket. I got it right here on my phone. I can show anybody. How did they just pick her? And all that stuff over there by Ballinger and Flushing. I mean, y'all came and ticketed her for that, or whoever came and ticketed her. But look at all that debris over there, all that blight, all them burnt down houses that people dumping at right there behind Save-A-Lot. I'm not understanding how she ended up with a $250 ticket. I hope one of y'all, 2 of y'all, 3 of y'all can get together and try to help me figure this out. Because my sister's on total disability, a single parent over there with her arm like this, and they try to go out there and cut some trees. Me and my husband had to get somebody over there to cut them trees for her. How was she gonna cut them if her arm don't even go all the way out? And the lady that came out spoke to her so rudely, didn't even give her a warning. How you not gonna give her a warning? I'm trying to figure it out. Please help me.
That was our last public speaker. Madam Clerk?
The next speaker is Arthur Woodson.
Yeah, I thought you said that twice.
You just didn't want me to come up here. Yeah, I was going to talk about you too. Hold on. Let me say this. Kenneth Miller was the deputy DPW person. He left, he resigned. He was the only DPW person since the water crisis that I didn't talk about, that I didn't go after, that I didn't fight with, because if he saw that I was communicating with Eagle, he would come in my email and say, I got this. He would do the job. I'm hearing that there's a deputy DPW person that lives in Canada. He can't come to the meetings probably because he has to drive back to Canada. 26 years old. He don't even have experience. But you're going to hire this person over a system that has been damaged, that don't have no experience. Man, this is a joke now. This is a joke. Judy, I seen you talking about Ms. Greenspan. Judy, in order for you to call somebody up here, you have to read it for yourself first, because you wouldn't even know if she's lying to you or not. You wouldn't even know any of the questions to ask her, because she would probably skip over all the important stuff because you are dumb enough to fall for it. Like, for instance, if a person have $5,000 in a trust fund, do they lose their Medicaid? Yes, they do. If a person used Medicaid while doing the water crisis, is there a lien put on it by the federal government, which the state waived? Yes, they do. Judy, the other part of it, right? When do we get our money? Well, you can't receive your money until after all the appeals are exhausted. What else is there for you to know, Judy? You have to read first, Judy. If you read, you can tell your constituents what's really going on. But I see you don't want to look because, see, that mushy stuff that the dude was saying earlier, which was a bunch of crap, because y'all ain't really doing nothing. For real. You don't want to look up to where people telling you the truth. See, I'm going to tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. Y'all got us locked into that ACO. Candace, Judy, y'all locked us in. Now you got to spend $136,000. I spoke to Eric Pocan, drinking revolving loans, man, all this. Why does the residents of Flint have to pay anything for something that the state broke? Why? Y'all just incomplete, man. I mean, seriously, man. Y'all just vote to be voting because it sounds good and it came from the mayor's office. Candace, you should know better. And you still owe me an apology, Candace. Thank you.
The final speaker for this meeting is Beverly Biggs Levy. That was the last speaker.
Yeah. It is now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who'd like to do a council response? Go ahead.
I just want to ask Miss Mary, and then I don't know if the other person left. I can't see. Did she leave? Oh, yeah. Can y'all both just meet me over here real quick? All right. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
thank you all for coming, all of the speakers, the residents here. Thank you for being engaged in the process. I wanted to say to Miss Mary, I actually stopped by that house yesterday and I tried to have a one-on-one conversation with the individuals. However, there was a communication barrier. But I think with my hand motions and stuff, I think they understood what I was talking about. But we'll probably have to take further steps I didn't drive by there today, so I didn't see. Okay, but we'll get that taken care of. And Ms. Sherry, I'll get that address as well too, see what I can help do with that situation. Mr. Peachy, I understand your frustration. Money has been spent, but I can't even see where it's been spent. Yeah, we needed money towards streets and different things like that. We put in $450,000 towards small businesses. And, it's.
Go ahead. Can you put it back to 20 seconds, please?
And it is frustrating when there are other things that we need to be doing with those funds. So I feel your frustration. And thank you, Madam Chair, that's it.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else? Okay, I will take my time. Mr. Peachy, we approved the funding for the small business grants on June 10th, 2024 for $500,000. So this was part of the process. They applied. I don't know what their situation is, but just because the business has been in business for 60 years does not mean they aren't struggling or need help to better improve themselves. And we have an Ace Hardware store on the north end that received a $20,000 grant. And they were going to do it for, if you go on the outside of their building that desperately needs some repair. And that's what they're going to use their money for. I was unable to go to Luigi's because I had a previous appointment. And in regards to the fires and stuff on the east side, I'm fighting every day to get houses down on the east side. There's been tremendous improvement. Matter of fact, I received a picture today from someone of a house going down. And I know that on Woodrow, there's some serious issues. I've brought up that house that you've spoken to me about with the sides coming down multiple times to the land bank, saying it's a danger, and it's still standing. There's houses that have been basements. You know, there's one kitty corner from you. They got two of the houses on that corner and left the third. Why? I don't know. They're land bank. I can't control the land bank. I wish I could. And if there's no fire escrow, then we can't do anything about it. All right, that was the end of the council response. It's now time for the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion. Yes. It's been motioned by the councilwoman in the 7th ward to approve the consent agenda to council. Is there support? It's been supported by the councilman in the 8th ward. Are there any separations?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
250198
Okay,
and 250223.
okay. Is there any other separations? Are there any other separations? Are there any other separations? Seeing none, the consent agenda consists of the following resolutions. 250265, Mike and Moore Construction for lead-based paint hazard control abatement services, and 250284, purchase order from Tri-County International Trucks for the purchase of a semi-truck. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson is not in. Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat? Yes. Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Voted 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. That, those two resolutions will go to council. The first separation is 250198. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
To
Send
send
to
to
council.
council?
I'm sorry, send to council, yes, sorry.
And did you support that, Mr.
Sure,
Pfeiffer?
Sure.
Okay, councilman in the 8th ward supported that. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore?
Mr. Moore, has there been any work by your department to put together a budget of what the ACO will cost city residents?
No.
No? Okay. Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion in the first round?
If they do ACO.
Is there any other discussion in the first round? Go ahead.
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Is there anyone, is Mr. Dungy here?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mr. Dungy.
Mr. Dungy, you know, I'm still struggling with this
Yes.
because I just really feel like the state need to be funding everything that goes on as far as the administrative consent order,
Mhm.
you
Well-
know?
Well, we did we are going to do another intent to apply for the Torrey Road project and the Northwest Transmission Main. So we're going to try to, do an intent to apply this year again, as long as it passes, to ask the state for funding for that. Now, there's no guarantee that we'll get, relinquished of some of that debt, but they have, told us behind closed doors in our weekly meetings that please apply for this. We can't tell you verbally, we can kind of infer that if it's possible we could relinquish you of some of that money, but you have to apply to even find out.
Now, let me ask a question. Fleas and Vanderbrink, what exactly is being asked to produce that Arcadius did not already deliver? Did we do a side-by-side comparison of the scope?
Yes. Yes, it'll be the exact same thing as the Arcadis study. So the purpose of both the asset management plan and the reliability study is to aid the city in effectively managing the drinking water system by determining current and future needs of the system, assessing the current conditions of the infrastructure assets, and to determine the water system's capability of providing safe drinking water to their residents and commercial users. Updating the AMP and the reliability study is necessary to ensure that the water rates are sufficient to continue the progress the city has made toward rebuilding and maintaining its infrastructure.
We kind of, we're kind of in a 2020 here because of the fact that some colleagues voted to agree to the administrative consent order. And so now we're stuck because if we don't vote for this, we're basically screwed as a city, right?
No, I mean, it will eventually be unilaterally imposed on us, and penalties will be fined on us if we don't pass this. But it's all for the good of the city. I mean, now granted, maybe the state should be, responsible to pay some of this, but in the meantime, it is in the Safe Drinking Water Act to do this study. So one way or another, we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, but I just can't see us spending money on something that we've basically have already done. It's redundant.
But it was 8 years ago.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
but-
set a budget for your home 8 years ago, do you ever
Yeah.
look back at it to see if
Yeah,
you're still on
but
course?
it's
We had
still-
COVID, we had a lot of things happen.
Yeah,
We
but
didn't
it's
achieve
still
all
the
them
same-
goals.
It's still the same plan, and
But at some point in time, you have to reassess where you're at and look forward. See, are we, doing the proper things? We didn't complete everything on this
But
list, so.
I feel like we should be able to do that on our own. That should already be able to happen within.
We don't have the
to-
staff
to-
to do that. We don't have the specialized staff to perform
Yeah.
some of that work.
Well,
Because a part of this is to assess water assets. So a regular financial person, unless they've been trained on assessing water assets and sewer assets, it's hard for them to understand how to come in and do that.
so now how many positions will this hold for the money that they're asking?
You mean how
for
many
this?
people will they take to perform this task? That I don't know. I mean, it's going to take water plant staff and water service center staff to give the data and work with Fleece and Vanderbrink to make this happen. So,
Mhm.
there will be
And when
city
is-
staff involved.
Again, when is their contract up?
So the current contract is to oversee the lab of the water plant. And that is an ongoing contract until we get it filled.
Okay. All right. I'll yield.
Thank you. Any other discussion in the first round? Any other discussion in the first round?
In the first round, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do just want to point out, everybody keeps talking about the administrative consent order. And I believe Mr. Miller was mentioned earlier, and I think one of the things that we've all said is how he did an amazing job. We all had a great deal amount of respect for him. He came up here and for months talked about this administrative consent order, talked about why we should enter into it and why he thought it was a good idea, why he knew the city would be capable of handling the consent order. Also of the fact that it was going to be going into effect regardless. And so I noticed that there's some conversation that's being had as if if that vote didn't happen, then the consent order wouldn't have happened. The consent order was going to happen anyway. And so the conversation that you're having today, you still would have had whether that vote was yay or nay for it. And so I don't want people to lose facts while we're talking. And the fact is, this conversation was coming either way.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. I just want us to be very clear that the administrative consent order was happening. It was happening. And this conversation that we're having today was going to happen as well. And I do agree with you in the fact that, first of all, 8 years is a long time, regardless of if you've had COVID or any other kind of crises or emergency. This is municipal government. So their plans are constantly, if government is being ran correctly, being reviewed, changed, fixed, or made sure that we're following on accurate timelines. And I'm not sure if I heard you correctly or not this is our first time looking back in 8 years. Maybe I heard you wrong. I hope this is not our first time looking back in 8 years, because we have a problem. Because again, it's government, and in government, you should be looking back every year, especially in government where you've had a crisis such as the one that Flint has had around water. Every year, we should be assessing where we are with our water, where we are with the infrastructure surrounding our water. And I know that you've also said, Mr. Dungy, you've been here for how many years?
Well, since 97.
Since 1997. I know where I was in 1997. And I'm sure the rest of my colleagues weren't on council. I know I wasn't eligible to be on council in 1997. But I say that to say, again, when you have someone who has those years and decades of expertise, someone who has stayed here and done the work and who knows the systems and who understands the poor infrastructure. And let's be clear, the infrastructure that we have in Flint is infrastructure that is had around this country. America has not invested in its infrastructure. America has not invested in its water, nor its water supply, nor the care for it. So while what happened in Flint with Public First, it is not unique to Flint. But what is unique to Flint is the opportunity to fix it and to get it right and to be the blueprint of it being fixed and it being done correctly. And so this is the opportunity for that. We can go back and say, coulda, shoulda, woulda, all those other things. Only thing we can deal with now is the here and the now, and it's the fact that, one, we have to go ahead and accept the money to get this done. Like that, we don't have options for that. For two, these repairs have to happen. Again, we don't have options for that. Everything that it takes to get us where we need to go.
Your time.
To get us.
Please turn off
How's that
your
my
ringers on
time?
your phone. I said pause it.
Oh,
Please turn off your phones,
did.
your ringers. Thank you. Go ahead. Sorry.
bottom line, Mr. Dungy, we have you who have been here since 1997, Mr. Miller, who was excellent in his position, who said that all of the things that needed to be done could be done. We do have, and trust me when I tell you, anybody that gasps at all or doesn't trust what I'm about to say next, don't blame you. I actually agree with you. But we do have the state of Michigan, who has also been working with us and monitoring and doing the things that they claim they've been doing. And so we have all of these entities, all of these things that are set up for us. And then not on top of that, as you can see, we have a council who is fully concerned with how this pans out. We have a constituency in all of our residents who's not going to let us breathe if this doesn't pan out. And so we can prolong and talk about what should have been done, how it was going to happen. The bottom line is that administrative consent order was going to be enacted regardless. We trusted the word of Mr. Miller, who we all have stated we've had good faith in when that yes vote for that administrative consent order happened. And that yes vote didn't happen right away. He came in front of us at least 6, 7 times, 8 times actually, to even talk about that consent order before the consent order was actually even voted on. And so it gets put out there like it was done in haste by council members, when no, it was done in research and with full trust of a professional that we hired. Either way, we were going to end up here. So we either do our due diligence and do our job and vote on this, or we keep kicking the can and pushing it and making matters worse in already poor infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Anyone else? I'm going to take a few minutes. Mr. Dungy, you know, when we're talking about applying for these funds, that we, and this is I know that I have to evaluate my budget yearly, monthly at some times in order to do this. And I plan in advance for catastrophic failures, whatever. And what's your request? I've changed. Thank you. I realized that was kind of off topic. Yep. So this has to, 8 years, as Ms. Mashat said, is a long time. What we found out here is 2 years is a long time. Things change, laws change, regulators change, employees change. And trying to keep up with those kinds of things is impossible. The fact is that we do not have the expertise on staff to do this study, which is required of us. And so it behooves us to go ahead and pass this and move forward and just get it done. Then we know where we're at and we can plan for the future. Without this, we can't plan.
Right.
And we're going to be in violation. Anybody in the second round? Go ahead.
So, Mr. Dungy, when was this, our plan due? Because my research says that this 5-year plan was due in 2023.
I don't know if the original date was 2023. Currently, it's due by the end of this year.
So it's due every 5 years with the act, and this was amended to my records in 2018. So in 2018, we submitted one, and then in 2023, this is due. Why is it, are we getting, where was the pressure in 2023 to get this done?
That I couldn't tell you. There were so many other projects that were being done at that time.
So,
We weren't at that
if
phase
you don't
yet.
have an answer, I'm going to move on real quick.
Okay.
So the drinking water, you mentioned the Drinking Water Act. Can you pause my time?
Yeah, go ahead. Pause this time.
Chief, is there something you need?
No, it's nothing I need. I'm supporting him.
Okay,
Okay,
start this time,
whatever.
please.
Mr. Dungy, isn't it also part of the Drinking Water Act that we have to continuously keep this updated?
Yes.
So as an administration, we've failed at that, correct? Because if we've been keeping it updated, it should be.
So in 2016, the water reliability study was done. That was the last time it was done, and that's due every 5 years. In 2020, I asked for an extension because it was due again. And they said, being it was just done, and the Arcadis report was done in 2017, that they could allow us to skip the 1 year since they had just been done, and they were kind of out of sync. But starting from 2016 on, they have to be done every 5 years.
Once again, my statement is we should be, with the Drinking Water Act, we should be constantly updating this, and we've failed to do that, correct? Because if it's that far out of date where we have to hire someone at this amount of dollars, like, to me, they should be able to take all of our information and put together a simple report. It should be a few $1,000s, if that. So to me, I mean, I understand it has to be done with the Drinking Water Act. It has to be done every 5 years. To my records, we're 2 years already past that date. And my contention is I have asked for a budget on the ACO. How much dollars is the administration going to come before council and ask for going down the road? If this is the only thing that's going to cost us money in the ACO, tell me. But at this point, this might be the third time that you've been before me, and I've asked for a budget on the ACO. And I'm not going to support this or any other ACO thing until you can tell me how much money this ACO is going to cost us. That's all I'm asking for. I understand that my colleague said this is going to come no matter what. Show me a budget on the ACO. That's all I'm asking.
So the last 4 items.
That's his time.
Okay.
Is there anyone else in the second round?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
you can go ahead and finish your statement, Mr. Dunn.
So one of the reasons the fire Chief is here is because we just had a meeting not too long ago on ISO. It's an emergency response plan that the county wants us to update. And a part of that is fire hydrants and how they flow, and this will affect our assurance rates. And that all relates to the water reliability study assessing our water distribution.
If I may, when you talk about the ISO, the city is engaged to get into an examination from this ISO people that is coming in to evaluate all of our water situations. And it has to do with the fire department, the water we use from his hydrants. It depends on our fire trucks, how it pumps. It is so large. So I would be really careful when you say you're not going to support it, because if it doesn't go forward the way it is, our insurance rating, even those people behind me, their insurance is going to go up higher than it is already.
Yelling out.
So that's why we as a team, we've met about 3 times already with the finance director and all of us around the table trying to figure out how we can get the insurance rating down for all of the citizens. And so that's why we have teamed up, and I would be careful. We say we're not going to support it because it's going to affect the insurance rating for everybody in the city of Flint.
So Chief, I can appreciate that kind of collaboration and thought, which is why if we're doing that type of visioning, it would seem that we would begin to assign dollars by way of budget. So that said, Madam Chair, through you to Mr. Miller. Moore, I'm sorry, Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore, go ahead and ask your question as he comes up.
Mr. Moore, I know you were asked earlier if a budget has been completed. Is it your intention to work on a budget with regard to this ACO?
We will have to work on a budget. But this is one of the first steps that we need to undertake in order to develop that budget.
Okay, one first step, good. Is it your intention to do a budget for the ACO as has been
That is
suggested?
one of the main purposes of this study is to determine what we have to do to maintain the system so it can stay operational.
For what we know our
long-term.
commitments are, can a budget be developed for this and those other things?
That is your time. Is there any other discussion in the second round?
Yes, Madam.
Go ahead.
Chair. Mr. Moore, you can continue with the question that the council person in the Ninth Ward asked.
In order to calculate what the cost of a budget and what cost that we need in order to fund the items that would be included in this, we need to have the study to find out what needs to be replaced, what needs to be upgraded, and we can't do that until we have the study.
So, Mr. Moore, basically what you're saying is we need the study first in order to find out how much of everything, all of the things that's on that list for the administrative consent order, how much everything is going to cost.
The type of study that is being requested is required of virtually every city that has a water system. They're required to have an asset management plan, which is what we're looking to get. And that will help us to determine which assets need to be replaced, when they should be replaced. And the idea is to make it so that the system is reliable for the long term.
Yeah, but it seems like to me, it's already known of all of the things that we need to do as far as the ACO.
Excuse me, do you all have the updated list that I just give Davina prior? And that list, everything on the ACO and where we're at as far as funding and where they're at as far as getting them done. So there really is only 3 major projects that are going to take a lot of money. to fulfill. Northwest Transmission Main, Torrey Road, and them are SDRF items that if we do the intent to apply, it's possible the state could forgive us for all of it or 50% of it or whatever, but we have to apply. And that was the 29 million ask that we did last year. We're going to do that again. The other item is this TMF at the very bottom of the list, and that's this asset management. Everything else has been taken care of. Record keeping, I've finished that. Distribution valves, water service center's done that. The Torrey Road, the Cedar Street project's on there, but that's already paid for by ARPA funds and getting done. So, it's hard to budget for 29 million when we don't have 29 million. That's why we wanted to apply for the state for low interest bonds. The only thing that we have to budget was this 136, and we've put that in our budget. And what is in yellow is just jobs and standard operating procedures. As we fill jobs, they can start performing them procedures. Some of that's personnel driven.
Okay, are you?
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the second round? Anyone else in the second round? Anyone else?
Chair,
Go ahead.
I think I'm the only one left in the second
Yep,
round.
you and myself, and I'm not going to
Okay.
speak.
So just so we're clear, this also now affects, obviously, the fire department. It now, go ahead.
Yes, it does.
It impacts insurance.
Yes.
So basically, as we're playing the can kicking game, or that we're not going to do a game, not moving now is going to cost us big in the future.
Correct.
Money we do not have.
Yes.
All right, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, this is the vote to send resolution 250198 to council.
Dr. Lewis is absent. Ms. Johnson is absent. Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
No.
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
No.
Mr. Jarrett?
No.
Cheryl Alameen is absent. The vote is 2 yes, 3 no.
The vote is 2 yes, 3 no.
Madam Chair,
What?
make a
Yes.
motion to keep that in finance.
There's a motion on the floor to keep in finance by the councilman in the 8th ward. Is there support? Supported by the councilman in the 9th ward. Roll call.
Ms. Johnson is absent. Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Mashat?
No.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Cheryl Alameen is absent. Dr. Lewis is absent. The vote is 4 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 4 yes, 1 no. That motion fails. Going on to 250223, grant acceptance, financial recovery, technical assistance, CS Mott Foundation. I'll entertain a motion. Motion on the floor by the councilman in the 8th ward to send to council. Is there support? Supported by the councilwoman in the 7th ward. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
Mr. Moore.
Mr. Moore, and Mr. Bannon. Please no yelling out.
Mr. Moore, is there any plan by the administration to do a amended resolution that shows a deduction in these categories that we're getting dollars from?
When we looked at it, we realized that the city council has actually already done that. You have
We
adopted.
just approved the budget, so how could we do that?
You adopted the 2025 budget for 2026. The 2025 budget included this for the same number of positions that were requested right now, so it's basically the same thing.
I disagree. I think that in 2025, we fully funded that department as well. I mean, the difference, I'm gonna go through this whole thing right now and show you line by line, but I only got 3 minutes. So you're not going to pull that one over on me and tell me that this money was never allocated in the budget and we need this money to keep the current staff. You're not going to tell me that. There's no way. So you're telling me that the departments listed on or the positions listed on the sheet that we got a few weeks ago, those positions are underfunded by $750,000?
What I said is that the city council adopted a budget that was included the same grant as last year.
So that's not my question. My question is, when we approve the budget for this year, are you telling me that we underfunded those 12 positions or whatever was on the sheet by $750,000?
The budget that we had proposed initially.
It's a yes or no, Mr. Moore. It's a yes or no. Did we underfund those 12 positions by $750,000?
The budget that was adopted, no. The budget that was proposed, yes, because we did not assume
We adopted, so we adopted the correct one then, right? So what do you mean?
you
The one
adopted a
that
budget that assumed that we would receive the $750,000.
No, so you just mixed words. So you're saying the one that was adopted, we didn't underfund, but the one that was proposed, we did underfund?
The one that was proposed, we had not received the grant yet.
Yeah,
And
which
so
we
did not
didn't
assume
adopt
that-
that one either anyways.
So we did not assume that the funds would have been available for that.
Okay.
The budget that was proposed would have used fund balance to pay for the difference if we did not receive the grant.
So we adopted the 2025 budget.
Adopted 2025 budget, right?
So you're saying on the record, in this, on the podium right now, that the 2025 budget underfunded these 12, 13 positions by $750,000?
No, the 2025 budget included this same grant.
In what line item? In what line item?
I believe it'd be in the grant fund is where you'd find it.
Request for information. Are you looking at the budget book that we received in 2024 for the 2025 budget? Are you looking at the year-end budget for 2025? Because it was the year-end budget at 2025 that we adopted, not the proposed budget that was approved in 2024 for fiscal year 2025. And I think that's where you're confused, Mr. Pfeiffer.
No, I'm not confused at all.
I do believe you are.
I'm not confused at all, because I know if this money is going to be extra and you are going to go and use it to expand the budget. This is a $750,000 carte blanche to do whatever you want now.
That's incorrect.
Because the existing budget that we adopted already had the $750,000 to fund these positions.
The administration can only spend what the city council has appropriated.
Right, and now we are over appropriating these departments, so now there's extra money in there that you
You're
can hire
mixing-
extra people, right?
You're mixing revenue with expenditures.
No, I don't care about the revenues.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
All right. Mr. Bannon, if you would go ahead and.
So there's a couple of pieces to this grant. One is professional services, which is separate, all right? Professional services, we accept that, but there's about 630,000 of it is towards the staff is what we're talking about. My understanding from talking to finance is this grant is the second or third time we've got this grant. I know that because I've been involved in the last two. I wasn't involved in the first one, but I've been involved with the last two. Council adopted the last iteration of this grant for the same amount of money, $750,000 in the last budget cycle. So during the last budget cycle, I apologize, you approved and accepted this funding. From then going forward and adopting last year's for this year, you're accepting that funding again. The $750,000 is what we're talking about. It's part of last year's. This is not replacing, this is not freeing up $750,000 to do whatever quote unquote carte blanche the city wants to do with. There's guidelines in using this funding. It's paying certain percentages of people's staffing, which I sent to you and I gave to you. That's how it's working.
All right, do either of you or maybe Madam Clerk have the resolution from when we adopted the grant previously? Because I think that will also help clear up some of this confusion. Again, when we made the decision to adopt the budget from last year, that 750 was adopted with it. So this is the 750. All we're doing is plugging this 750 in where that grant was already in the budget. It's going in the same place, covering the same things. This is not a new 750. This is not an extra 750.
Right.
This is the exact same 750 because we adopted the exact same budget.
And it's recognized as revenue. We're not expanding the expenditure part of the budget at all.
Right. And so I think that the way to clear this up, because again, I think that my colleague may be mistaken on what is happening and what we did adopt and where this 750 is going. So I think that the best thing that we can do is pull the old resolutions and show the plug-in. So again, this is the third time we've adopted this grant. And it's going for the same thing it's gone for the other two times. And so only thing we can do is just pull it and show that this is not extra money. This is not anything giving anyone a latitude either, because with grants, especially grants like this, they are specified the usage.
I'm happy to get that last and send it out to you. If we want to go to special affairs, I can have them. We can talk about it then. Not a problem. I can bring that.
That's fine. I make a motion to amend it.
Madam,
Are you gonna make it? Okay, that's cool. Oh, then I'll wait. He's gonna make it.
Thank you.
No problem. I yield.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else in the first round? Anyone else? I'll take my time. So I've had discussions with Mr. Moore on this, and we accepted this grant. That is included in the budget that we adopted, because the budget that we adopted for fiscal year 26 is the budget that we had in place at the end of fiscal year 25. In that budget, we had already made the adjustment for this grant. We had accepted the revenue, we had moved the wages out and to that grant. Thus, when we adopted the fiscal year 2025 budget for 2026, that money was already there. The 850, whatever amount the amount of money it was, that was already 750,000, was already in the budget, both for expenses and revenue. This just accepts the grant, say, yes, thank you, God. Thank you, Mott Foundation. We appreciate you funding us. Thank you. It makes no difference to our budget because it's already there. Any discussion in the second round? Go ahead.
Just for the record, I'm not concerned on how this is going to be spent. I understand that this grant has restrictions and it has to be spent. I'm talking about the money that's already been allocated in the budget.
In the budget.
That we do have money in the budget,
The
Madam Chair.
$850,000 is in the budget.
Madam Chair.
Or 750,000. The revenue is in the budget.
Madam Chair, I disagree. And when they show us the revenue that they showed us during the budget, this was not in there. This $750,000 was nowhere to be found in part of the revenue, but yet it's already fully funded in those departments. So I know what I'm talking about. I'm not confused. I'm not going to be run over telling me, oh no, it's already in the budget. I'm not concerned about the 750 in this grant. I know it has restrictions. It has to be used in certain categories and certain items. I'm concerned about the money that we've already allocated, which now becomes an open credit card for something else. That's what I'm concerned about. And with that being said, I make a motion to send this to Special Affairs.
There's motion on the floor by the councilman in the 8th ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 7th ward, to send to Special Affairs. This is the vote to send to Special Affairs.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis is absent. Ms. Johnson is absent. The vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. It's moved by the councilman in the 8th ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 7th ward to adjourn. Roll call.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer? Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Vote is 5 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 0 no. This meeting is adjourned at 6:20.
This is a reminder before the Governmental Operations Committee. If you wish to speak and haven't already filled out a slip, you do so right now. There will be no legislative committee meeting today due to the lack of agenda items. So we only have one more meeting today, Governmental Operations.
I see you back there. Where's Team Green? Bring him in with your goodie bag. That wasn't the stuff. Grab back, give us the way to the book. The dope going around Flint, putting people in hospitals and stuff and ambulance, picking them up against their will and keeping them for 2 weeks in the early hospital and kidnap people. But as you see, and the President Donald Trump gonna send the troops to Chicago this week, but the mayor of Chicago ain't gonna allow that to happen. It's gonna be I'm not gonna say, you stay tuned, you people who listen to this stuff and right now.
If all council members will return to their seats so that we can get the Governmental Operations Committee meeting under order, that would be greatly appreciated. Madam Clerk. The time is now 6:25 PM on Wednesday, September 3rd. I hereby call this Governmental Operations Committee meeting to order. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Okay, Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson is not in. Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Present.
Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 5 members present.
We have 5 members present. Reading of the Disorderly Persons City Code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault and battery and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes and or additions? Seeing as how there are no requests for changes to the agenda or additions to the agenda, it is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box was placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. I do want to remind you once again that the Disorderly Person City Code subsection is in effect, as well as council rules. First public speaker, Madam Clerk.
First speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
Hello, I'm R.L. Mitchell. I live at 759 East Linden Avenue. About the last, as you see, the chief of firemen come up here and interrupt the water, the guy that's taking care of the water department over on Door Highway. The brown person, I can't think of his Mexican name, but I keep mixing up. That's what he tried to talk for him. But,
Mr. Mitchell, Mr.
Mr.
Mitchell, can we pause this time? Mr. Mitchell, we will refrain. We didn't pause this time. It was at 2:28. I got you. We will refrain from using anything racial. Okay? We don't need a brown person. We don't need Mexican. Mr. Scott Dungy is his name.
Scott, okay then.
There we go.
Tell me his name then.
There you go. He was at 2:28. Thank you. Go ahead.
Like I was saying, America, that retired chief fireman tried to put words in the person mouth. As the AIO try to make we Flint people feel we owe them some money because if we don't do this, they're gonna do that. They try to threaten somebody. Like he the one that started that
There was a judge, I think her name is Evans from Detroit. She missed a lot of work, and they voted to let her go. It was a state rep. She would go out shopping, would never show up down in Lansing. They voted and let her go. If the personal issues that's going on with Leon is causing him to miss, then he needs to be voted on as far as suspension without pay. Y'all did that to Councilman Mays. So this should be done here. Candace, let me speak to you for a moment because you put some word salad together. And also, he can say black and brown. That's freedom of speech. Cuff, you need to start doing your damn job too and letting her know that she cannot stop him from saying black and brown. That's freedom of speech. If the KKK can walk down the middle of the street, that's freedom of speech, man. Even though I might not like it, they can do it. It's freedom of speech. So start doing your damn job, man, telling her what she can and can't do. Damn. Candace, your word salad about the ACO. I was against the ACO when Mr. Miller was standing up here. Y'all were some ignorant ass people that.
Please pause this time. Mr. Woodson, you and I have this back and forth all the time, and you know the rule. You know what happens when you say it. I'm giving you an opportunity to continue speaking. Please say what you have to say without the vulgarity, without things that can incite an issue. Please start his time.
Mr. Cuffs, there you go again, not saying nothing. Man, boy, y'all some ignorant people, boy. But anyway, I don't feel like fighting with you right now, but I'm gonna talk about your butt. You owe me an apology too, thank you. Here's the thing, the ACO, yes, they would be up here no matter what. Yes, you would have to do it no matter what. But at the same time, we was in the driver's seat, but y'all locked in, and by y'all locking in, that allowed EPA to leave with the emergency orders. That put you in a position to where you got to kiss their butt now. But see, here's the thing. You and Judy and the others that voted for it, instead of writing a letter down to Lansing saying, hey, y'all need to pay for this. Cynthia Neely got $25 million in a budget for a company or organization that does not even exist. But you want the people in the city of Flint to pay for something that the state broke. And then you make it sound like it's all good. Matter of fact, 2 months ago, they just gave about 5 or 6 cities money for the Infrastructure Act that Biden passed, that they don't have to pay back. We shouldn't have to pay back nothing. And now that you're a council person now, oh, I'm too good, I'm gonna be this type of way, y'all should pay, y'all, I'm so professional. Man, go on with that bull crap. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all get a little title, and then all of a sudden you Miss Pritzy now. You still the same person, no matter what. Jay-Z said it best. You still one of those. Quit running around here thinking you all that, man.
Next public speaker, Madam Clerk. Hater.
The next speaker is Beverly Biggs Levy.
Gone.
Mari Copany.
Thank you. I really wanted to get up here this week and share nothing but positive things, but unfortunately, there are a few issues that seriously need to be addressed. Pastor Hoke Smith has been dealing with an individual that has threatened to shoot up his church, with this individual showing up to his church Sunday morning. The police on Sunday echoed what the councilwoman on the 4th Ward said last week about arming himself or someone in his congregation. While a good guy with a gun has saved the day in many situations, the pastor should be able to call 911 and get help to make sure his congregation as well as himself are safe. We also know that St. Mark was the victim of an arson this past weekend. I encourage our elected officials and police to approach this attack on our religious community with the same urgency that was shown when the mayor believed his life was being threatened when the casket was taken to his house in protest. Even though it was made clear the purpose of the casket was not a direct threat to the mayor. Now, on to something positive for our community. Since there are so many people here working to address all the issues of the kids here in Flint, Chia Morgan, most known for our community Thanksgiving dinner, also runs many food pantries that are all around the community. She keeps those boxes stocked with essentials that Flint families can access 24 hours a day. And this past weekend was my 10th annual back to school give back. Despite zero support from local officials, I was able to provide local kids with 700 backpacks, 185 pairs of sneakers, socks, underwear, hygiene kits, headphones, filters, and more. Imagine how much we could achieve if leadership supported all of the youth.
Next public speaker.
Next speaker is Deborah Coleman.
Good day, everybody. Last week, I talked about the grants, and quote me if I'm wrong, I'm hearing we got $450,000 for small business because they need help. Flint need help. Fourth Ward Council said earlier it was a tremendous improvement. Where? For sure not on the north side. I see they put a new barrier in the sinkhole on Penn Galley since I said something about it last week. I was asked to give my ideas for the youth and their families when I spoke up last week and said I was here for the streets and for the kids. And I'm doing this so they won't end up in the streets and have to deal with, I ain't gonna say what I want to call him back there, but the thing in the back. No. The dude in the back. So I'm doing this for the
RL.
kids.
Let her have her time.
Oh,
Can
y'all
you
gotta-
give her,
Yeah,
can
y'all
you
give
go
me
back
about-
to 206, please?
Give me 5 minutes back.
You ain't had 5 now.
I'ma
Go back
need-
to 206.
Anyway, honorable council members.
Wait 1 second. Go ahead.
So these are my ideas. Also, quote me if I'm wrong, I see they popped open high school. I'm thinking that's what you told me last week, that high school was for the youth. So this is what I'm presenting, and I'll give you all a copy. So as honorable council members, I come before you today with concerns that affect us all, the guidance and well-being of the youth in our community. We all know the behaviors begin in the home, and it is responsibility of parents and guardians to instill values of respect and accountability. I can still hear my own mother reminding me that how you act outside the home is a reflection of me. Unfortunately, many of the values that once grounded our families are being lost, and our young people are increasingly influenced by negative peer pressure, harmful activities. The truth is, parenting is not easy, and sometimes parents themselves need extra support and resources to help guide the children in the right directions. To address this, I believe our community would benefit greatly from the development and support programs such as counseling service, individual and family counseling to address emotional behavior and social challenges, crisis intervention, support for mental health struggles, substance abuse, bullying, and domestic issues, academic support, study halls, tutoring opportunities to help students strengthen their skills and improve grades, mentoring programs, positive role models for the youth to confide in and learn from. Mentorship opportunities should also extend to parents. Workshops, arts and crafts, drama, yoga, fitness. In addition, we should promote existing resources, mental health crisis, teen support, peer-to-peer. By investing in these supports, we not only help guide our youth, but also strengthen families, reduce violence, and build a safe, healthier community for everyone. Let's work together with the city, parents, schools, and community to make our youth have every opportunity to exceed. And I'm gonna keep coming up here and I'm gonna keep talking about these youth. I'm gonna do whatever I can to help. We might not can help them all, but we can help the ones that want to be helped. I want to get them out of the streets because a person like him, they're not gonna be right, him and his crew.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Taylor Sampson.
Taylor Sampson, resident of the 8th Ward. This is the wheel of power and control. It's given to anyone in an abusive situation. Besides physical and sexual violence, using coercion and threats, using intimidation, using emotional abuse, using isolation, using economic abuse, using male privilege, using children are all considered abusive tactics. Minimizing, denying, and blaming is also a chunk of the wheel. Making light of the abuse and not taking her concerns about it seriously, saying the abuse didn't happen, shifting responsibility for abusive behavior, and saying she caused it. I don't know what is wrong with half of the city council and the city in general for not seeing a felony charge of assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder and ripping out hair, leaving marks on her neck that are consistent with attempted strangulation, according to the Mount Morris Police Department report, and a misdemeanor charge of domestic violence are not means for suspension or removal of the First Ward Councilman Leon Elamine. What message does this give to the domestic violence survivors in our own wards and community? 3rd Ward, 4th Ward, 7th Ward, you voted this down last week. What does that say to people in your ward? How is that supporting the people in your ward? And you're not going to give me the respect of eye contact again. Thanks. I just don't understand how you're not going to go along with this. If you do not change your votes tonight during this meeting, you are committing political suicide. There is no hope for your careers. We will not let this go. We always believe survivors and women. As for the accommodation discussion, this is one of the most ableist councils I've ever seen. Every single week in these seats, there are people that are disabled, that are spoken to like children, physically accosted by the police because of the verbal directions given by 4th Ward, 2nd Ward, and 7th Ward. We come up here all the time. We're removed from the meetings. You yell at RL for speaking out. You do nothing to care for the disabled community that is in these chambers every single week. But now that new faces are in here, suddenly it's an issue. New faces are bringing forth the hard of hearing deaf community. That's another chunk of the population. Now you're going to talk about it? I think all of us deserve an apology for everything you've done to us these years. It's been literally years of us being dragged out of here. Every week I come up here, and I've said it multiple times, I am both mentally and physically disabled since childbirth, and you still will not give me the respect of actively listening or eye contact, Judy and Candace. Oh, Judy, I saw that. 2 seconds, thanks. Thanks for your little smirk, too. The camera can catch all this. It's despicable. You need to go to actual real accommodation training because whatever little plan you concoct tonight, I guarantee you will not be enough. You've never disrespected the disabled community, and I will continue to come up here and say that because whatever you do tonight is not going to change your behavior because how you act is the real true character of you. And it's shameful, and for you to be that old,
Thank
it's
you.
disgusting.
Your time. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The final speaker for this meeting is Tanya Jones.
Good evening. My name is Tanya Jones. I'm here advocating, since people don't understand, I'm here advocating for my son that's a part of the opiate crisis. And I want to make it clear, he is not found. Last time I was here, the last meeting I was here, I brought it because the police was asking for a raise. And I brought it to attention that I did a medical pickup and I did a missing person, missing person report. And as soon as I did it, the next day, a missing person was posted from a month ago. So yes, it was posted. I'm glad it was posted because I got to watch the comments. So the comments is like from my family, my daughter, they don't even live here, saying my son is okay. He only do meth every once in a while. One time can take it that my baby be gone. My father is Hubert Roberts of Black Lives Matter. I done heard things that he done said. I'm out here fighting for my son. I don't know why people don't understand. I'm out here fighting to save my son. My daughter called for a welfare check on me. My mental was nothing wrong with me. My main concern is my son. So doing a missing person report and having it filed a whole month later, since I brought it to the council attention, and then I was all over the internet, my son I have still not found. But the police contacted me and said to me, oh, I spoke with your son, he's okay. Get the paperwork you need and we'll go pick him up. But I need to know where my son is at. My son just lost his grandmother. My son is a part of John Cole case who he tried to groom, that I gotta be back in court. My son asked me, is John Cole locked up? I'm his mama. I'm supposed to protect. His dad was killed by the Howard State gang. So all I can do is protect my son because God blessed me with my son. When my daughter was sick, I went and got her from Tennessee, and she graduated from Texas, and I'm doing everything as a mother. Y'all talk about concerned parents. When they're concerned, look what y'all do. I come here and been harassed by what's her name? The one to write in. So I come down here. This is my last stop. I don't know what to do, but God gonna direct me. I'm thankful for the people that came to be family. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing. And Candace, you look down, and the thing is, I look at you and I just be thinking, y'all was so good at church members at Ebenezer. But now my son, since he's an addict, and the flowers, all the purple and white is beautiful down there. It looks good for the cameras. But when it hits your family, I want you to think about me. And I hope you're as strong as me. Because it's real. The opiate crisis don't last just one day. It ended the 31st. It's every day for me. Because I'm not going nowhere. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker. And then also, they can't hear when that bell goes off. So I don't know if there's a way you can. No? Okay. All right. Next public speaker. Oh, that was the last public speaker. Thank you. Seeing as how that was the last public speaker, it is now time for a council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers only after all public speakers are spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during council response?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
I want to address Mr. Peachy again. In regards to the water rates and that business that we talked about, the city had no choice because Eagle told them they were charging her residential rates instead of commercial rates, and she is a business. There's nothing I could do. I tried. And the application for business grants was on the city's website. I believe, I can't guarantee that I put it on my personal page, my 4th Ward council person page. So it was advertised. People didn't hear about it. That's because they're not looking. And I'm sorry about that. There's one other business that received the award in the 4th Ward, but I can't announce who that is because that will be done at a press conference later. But, and I just wanted to, and you were also questioned about the street paving. I thought they were doing Davison Road this year. I didn't know they were doing any side streets in the 4th Ward.
That's not your word, that's mine.
What, Davison?
No, where they did the paving.
Oh, they did the paving in your.
But it looks like it's yours because of where it is, but you know, the beginning of it is not yours.
Oh, okay. Because I didn't know if they had done it. So I've got a list of potholes, sinkholes to be done, and I'm following up on those. And if there's a sinkhole or a pothole that you know of, give me a call. Let me know what it is, and I'll make sure to follow up and find out where it is in the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else during council response?
Madam Chair.
Councilman in the 8th Ward, you have the floor.
So let me speak to these $20,000. I'm gonna say payoffs, grants, whatever we want to call them. You see, some council people know who got them and others who don't. Obviously, Judy knows because she just said that she wasn't going to review that. That'd be a press conference. So she did just say that. The grants, whoever got them, that's the cover of darkness, and they give them to the favoritism. I didn't see anything that says that they were accepting grants and who applied and who applied and didn't get it. We haven't got any of that information. So I'm not surprised. That's the whole reason why I didn't vote to support this business grants, is because they wouldn't tell us who they were going to and who and how the selection process or any of that. So, and that's what I said on the record when this came before us. And there's no way that we're just going to randomly give $20,000 to businesses without any information. I wasn't going to approve it on my name. because it's all a press conference. It's all for a press conference. This could have been, that money could have been for 20 more houses, 30 more houses to be demoed. It could have been to fix the 12 potholes on my street alone that are just, they just put barricades over. There's so many different things and so much wrong with that, with this stuff. It's exhausting. So I have nothing. I can't even comprehend how corrupt this city is.
Wishes to speak during council response.
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 5th Ward.
Councilman Pfeiffer, the city is very corrupt. I had to speak. I wasn't gonna say anything, but you know, the point that there will be a press conference on these grants for the business grants. And, you know, we just had a church that was threatened, the People's Church. Did we get a press conference on that? We just had a church in the 2nd Ward that was caught on fire. Okay, did we get a press conference on that? See, it's all a political ploy. It's all it's about campaigning. Okay, it's about campaigning. This mayor, he campaigns all day, every day. So you know, that's what it's about, Councilman Pfeiffer. It's a campaign ploy. I just want to put that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak during council response, I will go ahead and take my time. I'm going to start with the question about the department heads attending meetings. Only if it pertains to their specific department, then yes, they can, or if they cannot make it, they can send a proxy who should know the information. One thing that you did touch on though, is about the fact that they are supposed to give updates. I believe that's quarterly to the council. So one thing that we will do is we will start asking for those quarterly reports. We'll actually send an official letter to the mayor stating that we would like the quarterly reports to start back so that we can have them, and we'll have them come present quarterly in front of the council. So we will make sure we do take care of that. Thank you. Let's see. Another thing you talked about was like the rules changing a couple weeks ago about the votes and how many votes you need to move things. So it's always been 5. It's been 5 since I've been on council. So that's actually not a new rule. It's been that way. But I do hear you and what you're saying, but that is not a new rule. Let's see. Mari, 10 years. Thank you. Thank you very much for helping and serving other youth for the past 10 years, making sure that they have this event to look forward to, and all the work that you're doing. Your hair is really pretty, by the way. And then thank you for shouting out Chia in the food pantries, because that's actually very important for people to know. We are heading into some tough economic times, so there are a lot of food pantries around the city. Just make sure that if you are not going to take, that you don't vandalize and destroy them, and add to them when you can. Do also want to talk about, Ms. Deborah, thank you for the list. I was writing down all the things you said, but then you handed us this paper. There are a couple of things that we do already have enacted. Would love to talk to you about that and how we can get some of those things working. And then there are some things on here that we should probably look to enact. I want to talk about also with the grants. So I don't know whether she misspoke or not, but the press release that happens for them happens every week before they're given out. I want us to be mindful that this was done in a lottery, and let's be fair to the businesses who did apply, who are actually doing the work and who never get money from the city. This is their first time. Thank you. That is my time on that. We can move on to the consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the body? Yes.
Motion to send to council.
There is a motion to send to council. The agenda, is there support? Moved and properly supported by the councilman in the 8th Ward. Are there separations? I will do a complete separation. And then we'll move on to resolution 250285-T. What is the pleasure of the body?
Send to council.
There is a motion to send to council by the councilman in the 8th Ward. Is there support?
I'll support that
Moved and
motion.
supported by the councilwoman in the 5th Ward. Is there discussion in the first round of discussion?
Yep.
Councilman in the 8th Ward, you have the floor.
So I will be supporting this. I think that this is probably a couple weeks overdue. And I just want to tell my colleagues that this isn't forcing him to resign or anything else. This is basically this is required per charter. In case you guys didn't know, this is required per charter. So I'm going to read the part of the charter that mandates that we have a vote on this. Section 2-410, vacancy in the office of council member. Subsection C, when a council member is unable to perform their duties of the office, the council member may request of the city council to be excused from duties, which he has not, for a period not to exceed 45 consecutive days, consecutive calendar days. And the city council shall vote to excuse or not to excuse. He never requested, so that hasn't happened. If the council member does not request to be excused and the council member does not perform the duties of their office for 45 consecutive days, 45 consecutive days was a few weeks ago. The incident that stopped him from coming to council happened on July 10th. 45 consecutive days, calendar days after that would have been the 25th of August. If the council member does not request to be excused and the council member does not perform their duties for 45 consecutive calendar days, or if the city council votes not to excuse him, which we didn't, the city council shall vote on whether or not to declare the office vacant. Shall. It doesn't say may. It says shall. Where in the hell's the EAB board now? Where's the EAB board at this? Because that is part of the charter, and he has not been here and next week will be 2 months, 60 days. So this right here, this vote is to excuse him until the end of his legal obligations or whatever process that is. So this right here is the city council excusing him and not voting his office vacant. What is, 24. So this right here is above and beyond. We could have a vote and declare the office vacant. This right here is almost in his favor because we're excusing him not to come here until his legal obligations are resolved. So to me, I don't know, this right here is in his favor. This is basically, I don't know, excusing everything that he's, going through and saying, don't worry about showing up. We're not going to vacate your office and deal with your legal obligations. That's what we're saying. That's what this resolution says. So by charter, we could do the opposite and declare his office vacant. We could have that vote. We could have that vote because it's required. It shall. We shall have that vote per charter. So I don't understand if my colleagues don't support this. I don't understand what they just don't want to talk about it. We're going to put earmuffs on and pretend that he wasn't charged with domestic violence. We're going to pretend that he hasn't been here for 2 months. We're just going to, if we don't talk about it, it'll go away. So to me, I'm going to support this, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during public speaking? I'm sorry, council response. Thank you.
Madam.
I'm sorry, I'm tripping. This is anybody else in round one of the resolution. Thank you.
Yes, Madam Chair. When I did the resolution, I had to keep in mind that as council members, we cannot suspend our members. We don't have that authority.
We do.
Well, after a certain amount of time, we don't have that authority. I know what I'm saying. And you know what? First of all, point of order. You shouldn't even be talking while I'm talking.
So
You've been doing that all night.
So
Talking
actually,
while
please pause our
other
time.
individuals are
Please
talking.
pause our time. I actually have not been doing that all night. Second of all,
Yes,
I can
you have.
understand. I can understand your frustration. However, I'm going to ask you to be respectful and not spread misinformation.
And I'm gonna ask you to be
actually, the chair has the floor right now.
But you
And
should
so
not
what
be
we're going to
talking while I'm
do?
talking.
No, I have the floor right now as the chair. You said point of order, so I have the floor right now as the chair. As I was saying, I can certainly understand your passion and your frustration. But one, we're not going to spread misinformation about what's been happening all night because I've not been talking at all, actually. And then the second thing, what we're going to do,
Can I get back to what
I
was
have
saying?
the floor
On
as
my
the chair,
time.
and I have not relinquished it. You will get your time back when I relinquish the floor. As I'm saying,
you're
Mr.
taking the
Wood, that's
floor.
your first warning. As I was saying, that's cool. So as I was saying,
Yeah, an abuse of power.
right, sure. No, what it is that there's a constant disrespect that comes from you when you get too passionate.
And there's
It's a constant disrespect.
that comes from you.
Yeah, well, I didn't disrespect
Now,
you though.
let's
All
get
I
back
simply
to the
did was
meeting.
tell you because you stated something incorrect.
Yeah, but
is that
you're
we
talking
do
while
have
I'm
the
talking,
power.
and you shouldn't be
We
talking
do.
while I'm
Actually,
talking.
I'm the chair. So
And what
we can
does
do
that
that
mean?
again. That
What does that
means
mean?
that means I can step in and say if you said something incorrectly that
No,
you
that
stated
does-
something
that's not what
incorrectly.
that means.
Yes, it does. And you
That's not
stated
what that
something
means.
incorrectly. The bottom line is you stated you couldn't remove him or you couldn't introduce something when that's not true. You can.
No, you
So
can't.
it doesn't matter. He's not elected to any position ever in
but
life.
listen to
So as I was
so
saying,
let me get back to saying what I was
when
saying.
I get done,
You know
because
what?
you
I'm gonna leave
misinterpreted
this meeting.
because you misinterpreted me as me saying you had a right to do something as me trying to interrupt you. That's fine if you want to go. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Actually, you do, because how are you upset at me by telling you you did have the power to do something? I was simply letting you know you did have the power to do it. You're mad because I let you know that you are incorrect and you have the power to do it at any point in time? So let me know. Yes, ma'am, Miss Mary. Go ahead.
When I wrote the resolution, because of a court case that we had, whereas we had Tanya suspended as well as Councilman Mays, we as a council cannot suspend our colleagues. And I know a couple of people have spoke on that. So the resolution is to ask the council person in the first ward to voluntarily suspend himself. Okay? And, you know, and
Request for
then
information.
the other thing,
Pause our time. What's your request?
Through you to the
Pause
speaker.
our time.
Councilwoman, when you say voluntarily suspend himself, is that to say if he doesn't voluntarily, we still can't really do anything?
right, I mean,
Okay.
that's how it's
That's
written.
not, That's not
That's-
accurate. Go ahead, unpause her
I
time.
mean, it was just to ask him to voluntarily suspend himself. But based on what Councilman Pfeiffer just read, now, since it's 45 days past, we as a council can take further steps, okay? But also, I wrote the resolution too because we have survivors of domestic violence in this city. And as a council, we need to stand with the survivors. Okay? We need to stand with the survivors. And we need to let them know that we, as a council, we are against this violence. We're against it. And so that was the whole purpose of this resolution. It's not to, I heard Judy say, well, we can't do anything. He hasn't been convicted or anything like that. I'm not saying that he has been convicted or not, but we need to stand with the survivors in this city to let them know we support them. And that is wrong. It's wrong. So that was why I wrote the resolution. And whether or not Leon voluntarily suspend himself, in which he has not been here, and he's still getting paid. That's wrong. And as residents, that first ward need to be down here in this council chamber. They need to be up here speaking out against this, against the fact that he hasn't been here, because it's wrong. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilman in the 9th Ward.
thank you. I want to sort of cite a few things on the resolution itself. And per my request for information, and even the title of the resolution, it speaks to resolution calling for Councilman Leon L. Alamin to voluntarily suspend his duties pending resolution of his criminal case. The request is that he steps up and says, while this is pending, I don't want to create confusion or reproach on the integrity of the council. Now, further in this resolution, it actually speaks to that. It speaks to, whereas members of the Flint City Council are elected to serve the public interest and uphold the public trust, acting at all times in a manner that reflects integrity, accountability, and respect for the safety and dignity of Flint residents. This resolution, again, is that voluntarily he suspends his voting and those acts. There's nothing in here, and I think it was spoken to by someone already. This doesn't even speak to withholding pay. Now, the 9 of us know, or the 8, those that are here now knows, our pay, there was an attempt to suspend our pay for less than this. There have been council members that were suspended for less than this. Now, that's not to assert in any way guilt or innocence. That's not my job. What I'm saying, and what this resolution is saying, is voluntarily suspend self and your duties until this matter is resolved. Still gonna get paid. Us voting for this and putting the ball in his court, and us saying, as a council body, we are interested in upholding the integrity of this group for the public interest of the citizens and the residents of the city of Flint. We, the body. So a vote in the affirmative for this of itself does not suspend Councilman El Alamin. We're asking him, hopefully in a unanimous vote, to say, you consider suspending yourself in these duties. And in that, integrity for all can be in a measure upheld. That said, I yield my time.
Thank you. Anybody else in the first round of discussion? Anybody else in the first round of discussion? All right, seeing as how there's nobody else in the first round of discussion, anybody in the second round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilman in the 9th Ward.
Let me also say this. Again, this resolution, as I see it and as I vote, is not a vote of judgment. This is not a vote of judgment. This is a vote of accountability. Us taking the accountability as a body to say that we are going to make every effort to ensure public trust, and then accountability on the councilman's part to say, again, I don't need to add any additional confusion while I work through what I got to work through. As well, this could free up at least what we would hope to otherwise be the guilt of not sitting in the seat on the Thursdays or the Wednesdays and the Mondays that otherwise we have to be in these seats, and the homework that we need to do prior to. That mental space can be freed up, and focus and concentration can be on his part in defending himself and his name. But again, as I see it, this is not a vote of judgment, but one of accountability. I yield.
Thank you. Anybody else in the second round of discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 5th Ward.
And it's about protecting public trust. It's about standing with survivors. And it's about preserving council integrity. That's what it's about. And so I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this resolution. Let's send this resolution to council so that we can vote, approve this resolution. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else in the second round of discussion?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
So where in the charter does it say what our duties and roles specifically are? Has he been doing constituent work? Absolutely. Has he been attending council meetings? No. But he has been doing the duties of his work by doing his.
Please pause her time, and I would ask that people stop yelling out. Everybody else got a chance to speak without you yelling out. She has an opportunity to speak without you yelling out as well. What's your request?
So, through you to the council member in the 4th Ward. So are you saying that these meetings are voluntary and I can just answer phone calls and never show up to a meeting?
Well, Mr.
Go ahead, start her time. Go ahead, Ms.
You were off for quite a while last year when you were ill, or the year before, so, and.
Yeah,
did
was it
not.
45
So
days? No, it wasn't.
But
I had 2 strokes and I was back before 45 days.
there are oftentimes, many people on this council have missed multiple times. And, but the fact of the matter is that he has been able to do duties of his job. So I think that this is inappropriate at this time. And as I said before, if he is convicted, I will vote to remove him.
All right, is that all? All right, thank you. Anybody else who wishes to speak in the
Madam
second
Chair.
round? Councilman in the 8th ward.
Through you to the city attorney. The city attorney, are these meetings optional? Because if they're optional, I'm done. If they're optional, I mean, why am I wasting my Wednesdays and Mondays, to your point of the aggravation of being in these seats? Is this optional? Is it part of our duties?
The charter as a whole, particularly Article 3, speaking about the legislative branch, it does not specifically delineate all of the responsibilities and obligations of city council.
So being at the required meetings, the first Wednesday, the first and third Wednesdays, second and fourth Mondays, that is optional. So once you get elected, you never have to show up to vote?
I think attending meetings certainly is one of the requirements of a city council member.
Okay.
It does not speak in one place comprehensively to all of the obligations and duties of a city council member.
No, I agree.
And
I
it
agree
doesn't
with that.
speak to specifically how many meetings
Okay.
a city council member has.
Well, public, this is my last meeting. I'm not coming anymore. I'm not coming anymore. If this is optional, if this is optional, and we're not going to hold members responsible who take 2 months off because they beat their girlfriend allegedly. Like, if this is optional, I mean, it was nice knowing y'all. I'm going to go back and collect a free paycheck and say that I answered a phone call from a constituent once a month. This right here is the most asinine argument that a council meeting is not part of your duties. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But they don't care. If this allegation was on me, this vote would have been 2 months ago. This would have been the day after. This would have been the day after. And I promise you, there would have been a press conference by the little guy downstairs. But they don't want to hear any of that. They just want their fifth vote to get up here and pretend like that didn't happen when there's a real victim out there. But they don't want to talk about that. And part of this resolution clearly states, in order to protect the integrity of city council deliberations. Obviously, they don't care about that. They don't care about that. We'll just leave that name tag up there, and we'll just continue to pay for the next 6, 8, 9 months. Who knows?
We, the people.
Oh, all right, thank you. Give me a minute. All right, I think I'm the last person to 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, speak during this time. So I will say this. There are a couple of things that Ms. Priestley did state correctly, and that is, and even the attorney reiterated, is the fact that there are a lot of duties outside attending meetings. Obviously, I'm not going to say that attending meetings is not important and it's not crucial, as the person sitting up here with the best attendance on this council, who has not missed a meeting on this council. Clearly, I am committed to being at meetings. We can't sit up here and act like attendance is just such a huge thing, or that's what this is really about, because there was a whole FOIA pulled on all of our attendance, and the attendance on this council is abysmal. It's disgusting. As a matter of fact, the only people that have really good attendance on this council are 3 people in leadership: myself, Councilwoman Priestley, and Councilwoman Lewis. Everybody else's attendance is absolutely ridiculous. So, I mean, y'all can laugh and be as mad as you want, but you can FOIA it. There was a whole article done on our attendance. And so I don't have to lie. It's already been FOIA'd. So again, that's cool. Ms. Biggs, that's your first warning. All right. And now that's your second warning. Leave the meeting. Leave the meeting. Pause my time. Only you and you probably be here. Makes a lot of sense.
That's your new rule. You gotta leave the building now.
All righty, start my time. As I stated, again, if attendance was something that we were really appalled about, then the next people in line with the worst attendance next to his would show up to meetings. Another thing, and I don't know what the circumstances were for my colleague in the 8th Ward, but you missed quite a few meetings while I've been sitting here. You were actually almost at your 45-day mark. And so, no, you have. It was pulled. It was pulled. I promise you, I'm not making it up. Well, then you might want to tell the clerk to take better attendance because the record was pulled. The record was pulled. And so another thing is, so if this is really about attendance, then like I stated, again, and there was a whole article done, there was a FOIA given, the clerk gave records. So if this is about attendance, a whole lot of y'all are about to get suspended too. The second thing, we want to act like all of a sudden people care about the charter and what the charter says. When we had council members openly state, please pause the time.
Are you aware that this is based on his conduct, not on his attendance? The attendance was brought up for
I'm going through the door you opened. So let's go. As I was saying, if all of a sudden we care about the charter, when we had council members state on records and leave meetings that they wouldn't follow the charter and appoint when we needed to appoint. So if we're caring about the charter and people need to be suspended for not following the charter, we have grounds for suspension there. If it is about attendance, we have grounds for suspension there. I understand exactly what my colleague in the 4th Ward is saying. I understand exactly what the attorney is saying. I think that the issue that we're running into here is I don't believe in politicizing people's pain. I don't think for y'all it's about the young lady. I don't believe that it is. I think for members of the audience it is. For people up here, it's purely politics. This is the roll call vote for resolution 250285-T, which is the request for voluntary suspension, Flint City Council official duties, 1st Ward Councilman Leon Alameen.
Mr. Alameen is absent. Dr. Lewis is absent. Ms. Johnson is absent. Ms. Priestley?
No.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Bullshit!
Ms. Burns is absent. Ms. Mashat?
No.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 3 yes, 2 no.
The vote is 3 yes, 2 no. That resolution fails. Moving on to appointments 250133-T, which is the appointment to the Hurley Board of Hospital Managers, Dr. Khalid M. Ahmed. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
send to council.
There is
Madam Chair.
a motion to send to council. Is there support?
You've lost your quorum.
No, ma'am, he's in these chambers. Is there support? I will support it. It's been moved and properly supported. Is there discussion? Is there discussion? Seeing as how there's no discussion, this is the roll call vote to send resolution 250133-T. The time is now 7:35 p.m. on Wednesday, September 3rd. Due to a lack of quorum, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Faith, Christian Love Faith.
Okay, guys. That's the end of the meeting. The city just cut the feed. Thank you for staying with us while my computer went down. We got it back up, all 148 of you. Stay tuned tomorrow for the morning bump. Let's see what Wintus and Mickey have to say about it. You guys have a great evening.